Okay, so I just want to talk about a problem I am seeing in the Genshin community that is becoming more prevalent ever since Fontaine has been releasing with their characters. Since this situation has always been happening throughout the community ever since, well, like the very beginning, but it's becoming even worse now. Now, I want to preface this rant by saying I am not generalizing the entire Genshin community. I understand that this is more than likely just a small section of the community continuously doing this to upset people and get some kind of one up on them. So if you're a person who doesn't do this, then I'm clearly not talking about you. You don't have to worry about what I'm about to say regarding you. What I want to talk about today is people comparing newer characters with older ones. More so, people automatically grandstanding on newer characters and just completely rocking with that, like all the way, every single time. Now, actually, there's an already well-known term for this, and it's called power creep. We've all seen this happen to characters releasing in the game, more notably some of them being Kazuha power creeping Venti or like Ganyu power creeping, well, the entire fucking game back then. It's something that upsets all of us, but the thing about power creep is that it doesn't really exist in Genshin Impact. Some newer characters or 5 stars that are considered to be power creeping only make things easier for you to deal with, but it's not like you can't beat the content in the game without them. There's always going to be free-to-play teams that you can build and spend like, I don't know, 300 years farming perfect artifacts for in order to beat the game just like them. It's not impossible, trust me. But I'm starting to get off track, so let me get right back into it. So, if you guys haven't noticed already, Risley, the newest Cryo 5 star, just released with his banner. I think he's pretty cool and he seems like he's great from what I've seen. And I'm also a tiny bit tempted to pull for him, but I can't because I need to skip. I need to skip him and pull for this useless ass archive. So I'm afraid I'm gonna need to skip, bro. However, I'm seeing a problem here. The exact same problem I saw when Neuvillette released and when Linny released. I've been scrolling through TikTok. That's probably a mistake. And I've been seeing the usual Risley videos here and there. It happens every time a new 5 star is released, it's the usual. There's one thing that ticks me off about almost all of these TikToks. I open the comment section and it's just filled with these brain dead goobers saying things like, oh, Ayaka and Ganyu's wig got snatched, and Ayaka's crown never moved, or like, flop you and flop ka, or some brain dead echo chambered opinion like that. And honestly, I'm getting fucking sick of it. I know that some people are just joking with it, in which case, that's fine and all, but I feel as if the majority of these people are dead serious with it. The reason why this frustrates me so much is because these people do this every single time a new 5 star releases that does the same type of damage as an older 5 star. These people are insufferable because they just hop on bandwagons and never think for themselves. And when the new 5 star releases, now they're insulting the last one. I mean, literally, these people will sit there and praise Risley and insult people who'd rather play Ayaka or Ganyu. And then a new character named like fucking Varka or some shit would release, who also does cryo damage, and then immediately start clowning on Risley. Like, I just can't stand these people, because they probably got like some type of fucking Z/xenomorph type pronouns in their bio. They only speak in clone language like help or like right? And every time they make some type of video, they've got to put like the most obnoxious mix of K-pop music and choking sounds over the video. Like, these people are just blatantly non-human. You know what? Maybe it's just my fault for even viewing TikTok comment sections in the first place, because just like Twitter is a breeding ground for ignorance and stupidity. I'm just hoping that some of these people are just playing along and joking, but my intuition just naturally tells me that most of these people are so serious on shitting on older characters, legitimately. You see, the same thing happened with Neuvillette and Linny as well. When Linny released, all I saw in the comment sections were, Oh my god, he claps Hu Tao so easily, her crown fell. Something stupid like that. Or when Neuvillette released, and this one was more personal to me, right? They said Yelan's crown and wig fell off, right? And look guys, look. I know that this video may be contradictory to myself because I literally made a video on 10 reasons why Yelan is better than Xingqiu. But guys, listen. That video was clearly a joke. I mean, there was some truth in there, like the C6 Yelan being better clearly, but I never shit on people who'd rather use Xingqiu instead of Yelan. In fact, people will see how much I love Yelan and purposefully shove Xingqiu's name down my throat just for that. When the thing is that I have a C6 Yelan, so it doesn't even bother me. I mean, maybe if my Yelan was C0 then sure, but there's no worries when she's C6. But the reason why Neuvillette versus Yelan disturbed me even more was because Yelan is a goddess. She's a queen. She's a shining beacon of hope throughout the entire world. And the fact that people are speaking her name in such blasphemy is unforgivable. What frustrates me the most about these people is, again, they can never stand by what they say. They just hop on whatever everyone else is saying. They never stay loyal to one character. They just hop and hop and hop, and it is the most annoying shit I have ever seen. I feel like people need to understand that 5-star characters who do the same thing is actually a good thing. Here's an easy explanation as to why that is a good thing. There should be at least 3 5-star characters that do the same thing or close to the same thing for the same element. Simply because not everyone is lucky enough to get that certain 5-star, or not everyone enjoys playing that certain 5-star in the first place, right? It's very easy to understand. Take Ayaka and Ganyu for example. They both do the exact same thing, which is to be cryo DPSs. But the difference is that Ayaka wields a sword, and Ganyu wields a bow, obviously. Now, although Ganyu is hailed to be a great cryo DPS, not everybody wants her as their cryo DPS, because her playstyle is not for everyone, which is completely understandable because not everyone wants to play Call of Duty in Genshin. That is exactly why some people rather go for Ayaka and try their luck and enjoyment with her instead. And that is why it's important to have a few 5-stars, or a few 5-stars and 4-stars maybe, who do the same thing as one another, just with a few differences in their kits. It's also just like Hu Tao and Yoimiya. Not everyone enjoys Hu Tao's C0 playstyle, but some people really enjoy Yoimiya's personality and character more than Hu Tao, and her gameplay, so thus they pull for Yoimiya instead of Hu Tao. I didn't pull for Lingy personally because I already have Hu Tao and Yoimiya, so I don't need another pyro DPS. It doesn't matter if Wriothesley does the same amount of damage as Ayaka, or Neuvillette does the same amount of damage as a C0 Yelan. Some people enjoy the characters they already have because then they don't need another DPS of that same element, or they enjoy that character more than a new one, or the character is already well built. This is why I hate when people actually shit on others for using older characters instead of new ones just because they're old. It doesn't fucking matter if the character is old, okay? They can still beat the content in the game because the overworld is easy as shit. And if their character is old, that character is more than likely very well built enough to carry them in the spiral biz for the most part. You almost never have to get with the new times when it comes to the characters, unless that said character was like the best one for a newly released element like Nahida or something, right? With Dendro. It's just the fact these people can talk so sly about Yelan and thought I would let it slide so easily. Like, nah, you're not escaping my greasy hands. That is an unforgivable sin that I will never forget. Not to mention, the people comparing C6 Yelan and C0 Neuvillette. Firstly, as a person who has Neuvillette and a person who knows how Neuvillette works and shit like that, Neuvillette was always meant to be a hyper carry Hydro DPS clearly, while Yelan wasn't. Yelan as C0 is meant to be a sub DPS or even a support, but her C6 allows her to become a DPS full time. And even when I've seen comparisons of the two, it's never like the difference in the time that it takes them to kill the boss they're being showcased killing is far apart. They're still killing the boss at the same pace in the same amount of time. I just decided to C6 my Yelan because I fully understand that she is a goddess and the one I shall worship until the day I crumble into dust. But if you prefer not to do that yourself personally, then you could just get Neuvillette. Especially if you personally like and enjoy him more as a character or his playstyle. I feel like this situation burns child mains especially because the truth is that they have very stiff competition. I bet they can't stop hearing it from the Ayato mains, and then here came the Yelan mains, and now it's the Neuvillette mains. Hey, listen up, right? If you're a child main watching this video right now, genuine respect. In all seriousness, I never wanted him, but the fact that you're still committed to him even after all of this time, that takes genuine dedication and loyalty, and I always apply that to my Yelan as well, and for the forthcoming future. But that brings me into my final ranting session. A lot of these people who like to show off how much more damage their Neuvillette can do than a C6 Yelan, or how much more damage their Wriothesley can do over Ayaka, obviously don't realize that there's 100% somebody out there whose older 5-star still performs better than theirs, or even miles better. This is going to sound very blunt, but it's the truth, so I'm just going to say like how it is, okay? There's one life lesson everyone needs to remember in order to stay humble as a person, and that is the fact that there's always going to be somebody out there who is better than you. There is always going to be somebody out there whose Ayaka outclasses yours, who has better artifacts than your characters, or who has more 5-star constellations than your 5 stars. And it seems like these people who make these videos don't understand that. I mean shit man, even I have to unfortunately admit that even though I am the biggest Yelan worshipper for life, I know I don't have the best Yelan either. And that's for a few reasons such as artifact luck and whatnot. I doubt that these people's 5 stars are doing higher damage than everybody else's 5 stars. So I wish that they could take the time to realize that whenever they say that Wriothesley absolutely stomps Ayaka, they could also realize that there's probably some motherfucker out there with like a Japanese name or something who has a C6 Ayaka, maxed out talents, godly crit substats and main stats in the artifacts with like a perfect 1-to-2 ratio, who would more than likely put their Wriothesley to shame, or deal the same amount of damage on par with their Wriothesley. Anyways guys, moral of the fucking story is, let people enjoy the characters they want to play with, even if they're older in the game's history. Alright, I think I'm done now. My tongue is on fire and please do me a favor and unsubscribe. Thank you.